Congratulations on winning world's best honey, 2016 best tasting honey in the world. That's pretty amazing. How did you feel when you found out that you had won?
I was absolutely shocked. I couldn't believe it because it's a whole panel of judges, so everyone has to agree on, it has to outscore all these other entries.
Yeah.
So for little old Champagne to have some really good honey is quite impressive.
It is. And you went up against lots of countries, Spain, Italy, Kenya, Turkey, Canada, and Champaign, Illinois winning the best honey.
Ooh, man.
How many bees are you keeping these days?
Well, it's hard to know exactly how many individual bees. But currently, I have 9 hives on the property, but that ranges even during the middle of the year because a lot of times you'll split a hive, or you might lose a hive,
Sure.
or you capture a swarm. So it ranges. I've had as much as 25 before. But currently, we're just getting into the spring buildup, so who knows what I'll have by the end of the summer.
And about how many bees are in a hive?
That, again, will range depending on the time of year, but, probably about 50,000 is a good average.
Wow. So you're taking care of lots and lots of bees. And how exactly does this whole thing work? I know our listeners are thinking, I love honey, I eat it on my toast, whatever. But, what's the process? How do the bees make it?
So the bees, they go out and they collect nectar from all of the different flowers, and they bring that back to the hive, and they'll pass it off to another bee. So they have a special honey stomach, which has some enzymes in it. But then the process is evaporation is the biggest thing. So they evaporate then most of the water content out of it, because that's why honey doesn't spoil. The water content is usually around 17%. So the honey is a food that doesn't spoil. It can crystallize,
right,
which can lead to fermentation,
yes,
because the water then is pulled out of it when that happens. But otherwise, you can re-warm it up, and it'll go back to its liquid state.
Wow, that's amazing.
It's pretty interesting, and I've always felt that, because I have a friend who's a beekeeper, and so I've had this thought for many years, that bees have a bad reputation when it comes to people feel like bees are bad because they sting you, which, admittedly, you're a beekeeper. Certainly you've been stung a time or two.
Oh, yes, all the time.
But generally speaking, besides the fact that bees sting people, do you feel that bees have feelings? Or, in other words, can you see certain responses from bees in certain conditions?
Yes, like today, because it's not sunny, they wouldn't be as likely to be happy if you're working with them, because they want conditions where they can go about and do their work. And really, they don't want to sting you, because a honeybee loses its life when it stings you, because it pulls it out of its body, and it cannot live, because the structure of the stinger is like a barb.
So today you would say, what would be a word you would describe to use the general attitude of the bees today?
Oh, well, I'm smart enough not to go out there and try and work them.
Right. So would you say maybe grumpy?
Their normal business pretty much all the time. It's not like they're always out to get you because you walk up to them.
That's what I'm saying. There are certain conditions that are better than others when you're going to interact with bees.
Yes, you want a nice sunny day that's warm, typically above 60 if you're going to work them. Bees will fly when it's a little colder, but we prefer when it's a little bit warmer temperatures, because you don't want to adversely affect the rest of the brood in there.
So they're kind of like people in that way, where they don't like the super cold weather. I like that.
Well,
Thank you.
We just tried your honey. It's so good, Rachel. It's so good. And the last question, because I can hear that your babies need you. The honey, we were saying it tastes very I don't know the word to put on it, but I saw that it's called raw honey. We were saying how it tastes very, just natural and kind of earthy and naturey. What does it mean to have raw honey versus a honey that you might buy in a store?
Raw honey means it's unheated, unpasteurized honey.
Okay.
Now we use a hot knife to uncap it. And that's a very common practice because when you're taking the honey out of the frames, they seal it. The bees seal it off when it's actually ready to be harvested.
Okay.
So then you take a hot knife and you just melt off that top layer of wax, and then you use centrifugal force to spin the honey out of it.
Wow.
So that's what we do, and then we filter it just slightly, just basically to make sure that you're not going to get any bee parts in
Absolutely.
the honey.
Thank you for doing that.
We don't want to lose the integrity of the natural properties of the honey, which is, the bits of pollen grain that you will find in there and other, just all the good stuff that makes honey so valuable for its people swear by it for their allergies and to help improve to their all kinds of reasons. I mean, you can put it on cuts and it'll help heal cuts and burns.
Really? Wow.
Yeah. Honey is kind of a interesting property that of all the things it can do.
That's amazing.
Well,
really
the more
cool.
local, the better,
Yeah, for sure.
Wow.
That's right.
Well, thank you so much for talking to us. I really appreciate it. We're going to give away some honey that you gave us, so that's super exciting. And a big congratulations again.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Super cool. Well, best wishes to you. Tell the bees we said hello.
Will do. Hopefully we'll get a sunny day here and I can go out there.
Exactly.
Been quite a while since we've had a nice day.
Yeah, well, we'll be wishing that for you too. Have a good day. Thanks so much.
You're welcome.